guys, we are back in this tutorial, how to speedrun another perspective. It's the second part. It will show some advanced stuff, it will introduce glitches, new routes, some easier routes actually, but they use glitches, that's why they weren't shown in the first video. Also, I will go quickly through a lot of the rooms because I have nothing new to say about them when it's a straight line. So yeah, we're gonna start, and the first few rooms are actually quite the same except for one little thing. So yeah, start, and I'm gonna introduce a glitch that is accepted in this category and actually in all categories, even glitchless, because it is quite random. Actually, we know it works in groups of 4 inside cycles of 50. It's really hard, and it is based on the jumps you make, and every time you press jump a bunch of times, it updates the cycle, so we cannot see and understand where we are in the cycle. So what did I want to say here is I'm gonna introduce the bounce. Yeah, it seems kind of ridiculous, but that's it. When you jump, you normally just go like that. Even if you press it a bunch of times, you just go like that. But if you do a first jump here, and then you try to jump and spam it, you see how I seem to jump before actually landing on this platform, before having to wait, and that is kinda nice because it may save a lot of time, a few tens of seconds. If you do that 3-4 times, it's cool. But as I said, it is quite random, so sometimes it will happen and good for you, sometimes not. Sometimes it might happen when you do not expect it, so it won't be good, and sometimes you might expect it and it doesn't happen. Why can you expect it sometimes? Because actually in some rooms there are some quote-unquote automatic bounces that happen almost every time. So just go in the rooms here. This room where you jump a bunch of times is one of the reasons you cannot predict the bounces. Here. So actually you won't just jump like that and go back. You will try to jump about here, this line, and when you're there you spam jumps to get the bounce, and same for the other side. But sometimes it doesn't happen. Why? We do not truly know. It depends on the position and on how you did in the cycle. So yeah, really hard. Sometimes you won't have the right one, sometimes you won't have the left one, sometimes you won't have both, but it happens really rarely, so don't worry about it. It generally happens, so it's important to spam the button or key, depending if you play on a controller or keyboard. Yeah, nothing new in this room, even this one. Here. This room actually doesn't change, but I want to introduce a new glitch here. The ES for elevator swap. What is this glitch? Well, I have to go a little deep into the mechanics of another perspective. Really, I'm gonna try to keep it brief. So, the character has a hitbox, which is actually a rectangle. Everything is a rectangle. And there is a strange thing in some games, like another perspective. When you turn left or right, actually the whole sprite and hitbox are reversed. It's how it's done in the game's code. The character is actually just flipped on the vertical axis, but it has a hitbox with an even number of columns of pixels. Why is that important? Because since it's even, I think 40 pixels wide or something, it needs to have an axis on which to flip around, and it cannot go in between pixels. So you need to have a certain column that will be used as a pivot. It will be the 19th or something like that. So every time you turn, there's actually one row of pixels that is sort of teleported to the other side, and that's what I did just there. So if I try enough times to do this, maybe it will happen again, maybe no. Okay, it doesn't matter. The thing is, when you turn, it flips around, and you can block, you can completely lock yourself somewhere. And yeah, how does that happen? You have one character facing to one direction, and the other one comes in his back, like that. You swap around, and now you turn to the other side. And now if I try to jump, you see that it looks like a glitchy mess and does not do anything. I'm completely locked here, but I can still go left. What really happened here? When I was like that, the column of pixels that were inside the other character made the code think that I'm inside a block. So when I'm inside a block, a wall, etc., I cannot move. But when I press left, the row is teleported, the column goes to the other side, so I'm free to move. And that is really important, especially in the air, because I just did it on the ground, but you can do it in the air too. And that's when it comes to saving a lot of time. You jump, swap, you get in his back, swap around, and immediately when you swap, you turn left. I am blocked. I cannot move, technically, so I'm still in the air. I'm floating, waiting. I cannot jump. I can only go right, and if I do so, I fall. The left input was from my joystick. So I'm gonna show it again, and also both characters are locked in this position, and yeah, also you can do it like that, but it is way harder and is yeah, less useful. So but this technique can be done with walls. This is what we call elevator wall, EW. And yeah, for ES you can do this, keep the characters in the air and jump. How did I do that? You may remember that I said when you fall you have a sort of delay of 9 frames where you can jump. Well, that is exactly what we are gonna abuse. You go right, jump, and after that you go left to get onto the head of the character I'm locked on. And I can go up. I can even do something like that. And I can try to save both of them. I can do a lot of things with this glitch. This particular room doesn't change anything with this glitch, but it is a nice room to train, exercise yourself, and try to understand how it works. So I'm gonna do it normally now until there's something new. And there's something new in this room. So you get the key, and then now you will need to jump, and on the top of your jump, on the highest point, you will need to swap. Now this is kind of precise. You need to jump and swap again on the highest point. If you did that correctly, when the key in the animation is in the highest part, you will jump, the key will go down, and you might be able to get like that. I'm gonna show it again. No. Like that. And it says a bit of time because you do not have to get these two to go up. So it says a bit more than a second. It is not especially hard, and if you did not make it first try, well, you can still get the other character to help. So you have nothing to lose by trying it. In this room, nothing to say. I do these sort of jumps, but yeah. No. I was thinking of another route to show here, but I'm gonna show it in the third video, not this one. Here there is an automatic bounce where on this character, and almost automatic here. Here it changes a bit. You will swap here, and you will try to get on his back and swap in the air. so you can hit directly onto his head without having to do all this. So yes, and directly. It's each time you do an ES like that, it saves a second, so you can imagine how important this glitch is in another perspective. Here another one that I'm not really familiar with, this one of automatic bounce, but yeah, I do not really like it, and you can do it. PrepZC actually does it most times, but I'm not very fond of it, so I prefer doing it like that. Here it doesn't really changes, just if you fail you can still get your character back like that, but beside that, same room, still the same thing. And now the first hard room of the game, really the first technical thing, are where we are gonna use glitches. You will need this character to get, yes, actually a bit like that, on the side of the character, with her hair. So you will jump against this wall, and at the highest point, swap like that. When you're locked, you can go left and get the key, and then you can go back. Just to show, I want to show you something. No, yeah, you see that? It was some sort of teleportation. There's nothing magical in that. It's a glitch that we had a lot of trouble understanding. Basically, when you try to do ES, you need to have more than one pixel, one row of pixels, because if there's only one pixel that is locked inside, the game has a few mistakes in the code. There's a +1 somewhere that doesn't really have any purpose, and because of that, the game will actually will actually make the character go down until they found block. It's not a new speed or anything, it's really just while the character is in the air, make it go down. And yeah, so to get back to this room, we jump and get locked, get the key. This character here gets something, yeah, like that. Sorry, about here, or maybe about here, not too far. Now you can jump on him, get the key, and how will we get to the door? Instead of doing something like that, which costs some time, we will prefer another technique, which is to do ES right there. Get onto his head and get to the door. You will need a bit of practice, because this glitch really isn't easy on the first try. But when you get to a few hours of trying it, getting familiar with it, training, it will be quite easy. There you can do a jump, it actually saves 1 frame, but yeah, almost nothing. Here, there's something actually. When you get the key and you swap, you can get something there, really close, not that far, really close to the wall. Something like that. Why? We are gonna fall and do just no. Sorry. Like that, or something like that. When you get the key, you will need then to fall while facing the wall, and you will do just a little short left input to not fall, and you will get something like that. If you are too much on the left, you can try and go there. Why? Because you will automatically be able to get back onto the character instead of having to jump. It is way easier to do that on keyboard, just to have a little left input. So me having a controller, I will instead no, like that. I will instead get left, then do a right input. Like that. And then the room is finished. Now this room, it doesn't change. And this one is probably the hardest you will have to learn in this video. It is yeah, it is no. I don't have words to describe it. Just watch. You will need to jump on the last possible second you can and swap. Swap when you're about this height. So yeah, then you jump on him, get the key. Same, you will jump on the last moment and do and then swap and turn around as soon as possible. As soon as you touch the other guy, like that, and get the key. There. Why as soon as possible? It's really important. If sorry, if you wait a bit, like that, when you swap, you won't have enough speed and enough height to get to the door. So you will need to really be quite fast about it. Because all the speed, all the time you save from this technique is based on the fact that you don't need to change more characters. So yeah, this room actually uses glitches and is actually easier and faster with glitches. So put this character here, this one will jump, then jump again while going a little bit on the left, while looking on the left. You need to be looking on the left with this character. This one will take the key, and the first one goes, takes his key, and faces the back of the second character. That's why he needed to be facing left. Then get the key and it's done. It is almost always easier than the route showed in the first video. Why? Because this ES is well, we almost never fail this one. It is really easy to do, but still, it may be a little surprise when you do it. Also, just a little precision, because I didn't tell it before, so yeah. When you're like that, you cannot jump when you're locked. but you can go out. So when you want to, for example, there. So if I want to jump on the left, I won't jump then go to the left. I need to go to the left, and in the 9 frames of buffer that I can jump on, then I will jump. But first I need to go left. If I jump first and go left after, I show you on the right, jump right, yeah. So you need to be precise about it. Maybe do not take too much time. You have 9 frames, it is almost a sixth of a second, so yeah, don't worry. Here, you need to face the other direction, like that. With this character, when he comes, you need to do an yes, and this one goes onto the head of the first character. It seems surprising at first. This one gets onto his back, above him, and behind this pillar. Now you can climb and go directly get the key. And show it again. Swap, get onto his head. Go up and get the key. And the other one can take the door. There's actually a little faster strat. And also, if you can, try to be close to this wall. So already a little faster. You can not just go onto his head, because it takes some time. You can instead just do a left input, quickly jump, and so on. I went too much on the left. Not. Sorry, I'm swapping way too fast here. There. So I didn't have to go into his head. It's harder, but it can be done. And also, if the second character is enough on the left, you can directly get him like that. He doesn't have to get on the ground then climb again. So it is faster. And you can also, if you want to, walk with this one here. I personally found it easier to do like that. Yeah, you technically lose some frames, but I think it's easier, so I do like that. There. This room changes a lot. There's a kinda difficult way to solve it, so I'm gonna show you a safe strat. This character needs to jump and on the highest point swap, so this one can lock on him. You can jump, this one like that, and get the key. Do a full swap and to the door. So I'm gonna show it again. Second, the character on the right down needs to jump. The one on top of the stairs needs to get behind him and do yes. Then you use that he has to jump. You get away from the path, get the key, get to the door. and the harder strat will be presented in the third video. In this one, you will save a lot of time if you can pull it off correctly, but warning, this is quite a nightmare, to say it lightly. So first you will need to do it like that. It's the same thing we did like for the 3 or 4 rooms right before, so yeah. Now you will need to jump left while facing right, like that, and you will do like that, some sort of buffering, so you can have this character face the upper way, get up, and the other key. I'm gonna show it again. This one goes up, pose buffering, well, not really pose, but you understand. You can do it with pose, but as you see, it is not really useful because it doesn't reset speed, so it is quite hard. And try to not do these swaps too much, because each round is 1 full second lost. Here nothing changes. There's an automatic bounce here, this one. In this room you will need to lock this character on the right of this step. So yes, get on the top of this character, get the key, and then another yes on the highest point possible. And now we will need to do left, jump, and then we will hold right until we go to the door. And in most cases it will go down, it will go perfectly. If you're not sure though, you can still get to the head before going down to the door. You do not need to, but if you do not feel safe, you can still do it. Here nothing new. Here nothing new, but there's a little challenge for you. If I lock the characters here, you might know if you did the game normally that I need to leave like that, but I do not want to. I want to get both characters out. Both of them go out. And for that you will need to use yes. It will be up to your imagination to find that, so yeah, but it is a nice training. Obviously, when FrapZC found, well, he didn't find it, but he was the first to understand yes. He went to this room first and got out both of characters. Why? Because of this text. Wait, don't look at me. It was sort of a running joke that we could find an Easter egg to get both characters out, so now we can actually with ES. And yeah, it's a nice training, and I hope you will do that. In this room, the solution becomes really simple. You need to get the key when this character jumps, and you will do that. So I repeat, he jumps, you lock, jump to make a platform, and then yeah. You can also faster do it like this. sorry, I meant faster. I said faster. Yeah, but you need to pay attention to not put this character to the highest point possible, because if it is in the highest point, as you can see, you cannot jump and need to waste a full second to be able to complete the room. Nice ejection. Now, here, there is a better way to solve this room, but it is completely absurdly hard. Yeah, it's so third video. I'm just gonna complete it normally. I said complete it normally, not fail miserably. Here, yeah, nothing changes. Here, there's actually a save strat you can do, but loses 0.5 seconds on doing the one I showed you on the first video, this one. But still, it's way safer, so it's the one we'll most often use. You need to fall a bit, try to press jump, and swap like the frame after or something like that. So like that, and then this the big character goes out, gets the key, and it comes back, so you can do ES and jump way easierly. That's not a word, I don't know what should I say. Yeah, I understood myself, and that's the important thing here. Yeah, it's way safer, loses 0.5, but still, it is, when you're doing a race, you should consider this option at least. This one doesn't change. It doesn't change, never. Quite tired. This room. In French we call it l'ascenseur inutile, which is the useless elevator. Why useless? Because yeah, you just need to complete it that way. But actually, this room has a lot of ways to solve it, to win, sorry, to save a few frames. So one of the way we can work that out, one of the easy way, the hardest ones are for the third video, is to jump, and then not just jump down, or when you jump down, not just swap and continue, no, you will do that, and you will try to get back and do that. It it is quite hard, but if you're very confident in yourself, you might try it. It saves about 0.3 seconds. And also there's like that. You can safer even, you can do like that. You get to, so you jump, get to the other block, yes, and you go. It saves almost nothing, but when you get to the level of me, FrapZC, Maliman, etc., when you get top 10, it's nice, I guess, to have a cool way to show off. Here nothing changes particularly. Yeah, I'm bad. Yeah. Here, so I'm gonna do that. The important thing is, if you fall too much, you can get back on track with yes. And also, a small improvement you can make is here to lock the character and do that. What did I do exactly? I'm gonna show it again. When here, you lock, and right, you jump and go left. But the thing is, I'm stuck between the wall and the character, right between them. If I turn right, I fail miserably because I suck. Yeah, but what I meant is I have only one pixel, one column of pixel that is free, so if I go right and left immediately, I'm still stuck. So it is safe to do that, but yeah, it doesn't save a lot of time, but you can try it if you do it perfectly. I try to show it here. No, it sucks. It isn't that hard, it's, well, yeah, like that. You save about 0.5 if you do it like that, and if you do it perfectly without getting stuck again, it's about 1 second save. And also you can, it's harder, it's riskier, so yeah, take it with a little salt. You can do it like that, so you save even more time. But it's quite hard, it is way riskier, so yeah. But if you're brave enough, I guess you can pull it off. This room, you can not go there, you can just go here, and it will go nicely. But warning, do not go at the highest point. If you do that, you will get stuck, and you won't be able to get unstuck by just jumping. While if you like that, I think I will get stuck. Yes, I'm stuck, but if I jump, it's okay. So, not the highest point, okay? As long as it's not the highest point, it's okay. Something like that even, I think it's good. Yeah. So, you have a good margin, huh? Now this one, you get the first key, then you will you will go down, and when you do that, jump just a little, jump, and right after jumping, you need to go on yes, like that. You can get on top of his head and get the key. I'm gonna show it again. Like that. Here nothing changes. This room is actually different. So you need to jump about here in the house of room. This character gets about here, halfway onto this block and jump. The big one slap. No, sorry. Yeah. You need the little one to go right under the wardrobe. So halfway, jump, swap, yes, swap again. Now this big one get the key. You can go down for safety, and you get to yes, jump, and you can get to the door. I'm gonna show it again. I'm gonna try to show it again without failing miserably. I said I'm gonna try to show it again without failing miserably. Yeah. This one still the same. The only thing is, if you do something like that, when you jumped way too far, you can still save it with ES, or at least try to save it. I getting bad, and the key. Yeah. Now I'm gonna just go to the end, and this will be all for the second video. As you can see, I'm not really doing everything perfectly. I'm just having a bit of fun. As you can probably understand and guess by my amazingly happy voice, get to the doings. Yeah. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to post it in the comments, to tag me in Discord, etc. I forgot to say it in the first video, but yeah, feel free to to ask any question you might have to me, Frabzati, to Schlumpf, Mollyman, etc. So thanks for watching and see you in the third video for the ones that want to get to know the game better.